I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on how to put layers together and use the eraser tool to give yourself a multiple portrait. So the first thing you're going to do is open up one of your images. So I shot 3 images using just the ground as a tripod. So I sat my camera on the ground, I used the self timer, and I took 3 images where I moved separately, but the background stayed exactly the same. And the trick to making this simple is moving yourself in a way that you are in 3 separate places, not super close together. And the reason why is when we use the eraser tool, it's easier to erase around the background than it would be to erase around the figure being overlapped. So after you open up your first image, you are going to go to Layer and Add Image as Layer. So the second photo that I'm opening still has the same background I used with the tripod, except for I moved a little bit more into the center. Now this is the tricky part. We want this photo to fit exactly on top of the previous one. So one way you can do that is to go over to Adjustment, I believe it is Adjustment, or Edit, Free Transform, and then you're going to move the photo so you can get to the corner. Hold down the Shift key while you shrink that photo in from the corner until you get it the same size as the first one. So that way when you lay it on top, it is matching up right on top. Okay, so now we have 2 layers. We are going to apply that transformation. So the first step that we need to do, we have our background layer, which was the first image, and we have our middle layer, which was the second image. I'm going to actually use the eraser tool. You can use the eraser tool size, whatever is comfortable for you. And I am going to erase on my, whoops, sorry, just a second, I was on the wrong layer. I'm gonna make sure I'm on the layer that I'm on right now. I'm going to erase where my first figure was, so the first part of me. Okay, so now I have 2 of me, and I want to open up my third image now. So I'm going to go to Layer, Add Image as Layer. So I'm going to open up the third one. This one is same background, same shot, using the ground as a tripod, but I'm over to the right more. Remember, we want to go to Edit, Free Transform, move it so we can see the corner, hold the Shift key down so that you are getting it the same size. And we are going to place it right on top. Yes, we are going to apply the transformation. And then make sure you are on that third layer with your eraser. And we are, okay, it wasn't on the third layer. Edit, undo, make sure you're on your third layer. And when you use your eraser, you will reveal your 2 images. Okay, so you can see why it's easier if your images of your portraits are in separate spaces, are far enough apart, because if they were not far enough apart, then it would be really hard to use that eraser tool. Also, a busy background, like the busyness of the trees, made it less visible for me with the eraser tool. So once you are done, make sure that you save it. I'm going to name mine like Portrait Multiples. And if you are turning this in for extra credit, you're going to make sure that you attach the file so it will show up in your downloads. And that's how you make a portrait of multiples.